What is the story, team? You are very, very welcome back to the Iron Mindset. As always, as it's my YouTube channel, I'm your host, Iron Ian. So I'm sure you've seen from the title, the discussion point of this video is my experiences with having COVID-19 and what that was for me, how I experienced the virus, and it also kind of explains away why I haven't uploaded in a few weeks, although in fairness, I'd say a week and a half of that was more, I don't want to say procrastination, but definitely like being very, very busy with work when I was in work prior to having the virus, and other obligations outside of being able to just sit down and make YouTube videos. However, I'm here now, so I will walk you through what my experience was like while I was sick. Again, this is more out of as an interest and talking point and an experience I've had. This is not me making any kind of a statement about the severity of COVID or what I think of any country's approach to locking down or how people have been treated for being vaccinated or unvaccinated and all this. This is just strictly what I experienced with the virus and how it impacted my day-to-day life, my ability to train, etc. So if that is something you're interested in hearing, stick around. Don't worry, we'll get into some of the more interesting like lifting stuff and all towards the end. And I am still planning to hopefully have a regular routine with recording these videos again. In any case, so I became symptomatic on a Monday. My initial symptoms from COVID were aches and pains more than anything. So my body was quite sore and I was quite tired. Nothing respiratory, nothing, no cough, none of the the more commonly known symptoms. Aches and pains and fatigue. And then, so that was Monday. And then between Monday and Tuesday, I didn't really sleep very well at all. I kept waking up super, super hot. So that was the start of my fever. So I know when I got up the next morning, I was covered in, covered in sweat. Like, this is me kind of jumping ahead. One of the weirdest things about having this virus was like, during the night, waking up and literally every square inch of skin being in this light layer of sweat, even though when I was waking up I wasn't particularly hot. This was your body going through its like fever and like pushing liquid out. So one of the bigger things as time went on is it was very easy to get dehydrated, which is why I've gotten into the habit of just keeping one of these bad boys next to me. My hydration would have been very, very good prior to the virus, but Jesus Christ, like the amount of times I woke up feeling super dehydrated. Anyway, so that was Tuesday. Woke up quite fevery. Still went into work. Again, I did not think it was COVID at this stage just because I had no respiratory symptoms. On the Monday, I had taken an antigen test and it came back negative. So I was confident it wasn't COVID. In work, then I start getting really bad waves of nausea as well. So I went and spoke to my manager and asked, would they mind if I went home after my classes? And they very nicely said, you know, it's okay. We can cover the classes. You can head home now if you need the day off. So I went home, was just chilling on the couch, assumed it was going to be, just I had like a cold or I was getting a flu. Again, because I took the antigen test on a Monday and it came back negative. Did another antigen test on either Tuesday or Wednesday, I can't remember, again, negative. As I came then through into Thursday, again, I was still off work at this stage because I still had the aches and pains. I was getting pains behind my eyes, like right up in there. And it wasn't like unbearable, but it was sore. It felt like just like an ache behind my eyes, almost like I'd been awake too long. So Thursday or Friday, that's when I started to develop like respiratory symptoms. I could feel like a weight on my chest and I had a very small cough. Then I took one last antigen test on the Friday and it did come back positive. So I went and got a PCR test on the Saturday and Bob's your uncle, I was sick. So they explained to me basically they would count it from when I first showed symptoms. So from that Monday, so I had to isolate then till the following Thursday or Friday, depending on how my symptoms went. So that would be, today is what? Saturday, so this would have been last week, that I got to, like, I isolated till the Friday, and then I started to feel, I was already feeling better. But my worst couple of days, I want to say, were from the initial Monday, I think that was like the 6th or 7th, up until, and then that weekend, I'd say like Saturday, Sunday into that Monday, they were like my worst days in terms of symptoms. I was getting, the fevers were not awful, but bad. The chest, like I would wake up, I woke up one morning with quite bad, like an ache, a pain in my chest, and the cough could be quite bad in the mornings, and then just very, very, very fatigued. But after those couple of days, I was fine. So at no stage during the entire time of my initial symptoms to the symptoms at their peak to now, where I'm essentially symptom free and feel fine, at no point did I ever feel like it was incredibly dangerous or incredibly serious or incredibly, like, worrying. The most noteworthy things I can say about my experience with COVID is it just was like, there was definitely in the middle, there was like just a miserable few days. Like a few days where everything I just felt shit. I couldn't enjoy anything. It was, I couldn't get comfortable. So that for about 2 or 3 days. But beyond that, for me, it wasn't unlike other respiratory symptoms that I have had in the past with other illnesses. It was unique in its own way in that a lot of different symptoms happened all at once. And I know not everybody gets all the symptoms, but I'll walk you through some of mine. So as I mentioned, aches and pains, pain behind the eyes, nausea in the first few days, but that vanished. Then I started to get this really awful, like, chemical taste in my mouth. And everything tasted like fucking shit. I've actually since heard the analogy that everything tastes like washing up liquid, which is very accurate. So I started to find it very, very hard to get all my food in. And my calories started to come down, and I have actually lost a bit of weight because of that. I'm now trying to eat again, like up to the level I was before. However, once the chemical taste stopped, I realized then I had no taste and no smell, which I still don't, which is a massive pain in the hole. So initially there was so chemical taste, no smell, no taste, and no appetite at all. Fatigue was just throughout. I actually still have that to a degree. The only way I can describe what it's like is that no matter how much sleep you get, you still wake up feeling a little bit tired, and then you get way more tired way earlier. So like naturally working in a gym, my days are usually like 16 to some cases 18 hours long, depending on the type of day I might be having. Whereas now after like 10 hours, I'm getting quite tired and quite sleepy. So that's been an interesting experience. But that's, again, it's just part of what it is. Other symptoms then were like, so you can get like diarrhea, which I fucking had, which was awful. The fevers, which are no fun either, again, because you're constant, like, I mostly got hot, but a couple of times got cold. But like, Jesus, during the middle of the night, I at least 2 or 3 times I'd wake up just doused in sweat. So I'd have to get up and like towel myself off and put myself back to bed and have a shower in the morning. Again, because I can't smell myself, so I don't know if I stink or not. But in any case, the last little while I felt fine. The way I managed during was strictly just paracetamol and the odd Nurofen. The paracetamol was more just to control the temperature, and the Nurofen was just the ibuprofen was just if I felt like quite sore. But otherwise, I didn't use any real medications to manage it. I have like weights and things in the house. I would say in total, so in abs, as I'm sure many of you know, we train 4 times per week: Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So when I initially went home sick, that was a Tuesday, so I didn't work out that day. I deadlifted on the Thursday, took very long to recover between sets. That was the start of the respiratory symptoms. Did a bit of training on the Friday, again, same thing, took a while to recover. And then I didn't train the following week on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and I did a little bit of training on the weekend. This week, We are now on Saturday today. So this week, I trained Tuesday in the house. I trained Thursday down in abs. I trained yesterday at home, and then my next training session will be tomorrow, which will likely be at home, or if I can, I may train in a gym. But in any case, all I've noticed since coming back to training is, firstly, my belt is a bit looser, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. I'll figure it out as I go along. Recovery between sets is a little bit longer. I don't necessarily think that that's because of COVID. I think it's because I didn't train for like a week and a half, basically. So, and I was like in the house. So my cardiovascular system, like my ability to recover, is probably somewhat detrained. I'd imagine that will come back within the first couple of weeks of me being back in work, teaching classes, things like that. Like, as you can see here, I'm sitting here chatting away to the camera, not a bother. Ironically, as I sat down, my nose started to feel a little runny, which is not anything I dealt with during COVID, so that's just annoying more than anything. But yeah, overall, I would not recommend catching it. It was not an enjoyable experience, mostly because of, I think I got like almost all of the symptoms, but like quite mild. I'd say maybe my respiratory symptoms for about 3 days were like moderate. Like, I wouldn't say they were severe, but moderate. And again, at no point did I feel like I was going to need to go to hospital or need any other form of medication to alleviate symptoms. It was more just a shit experience because I couldn't eat and enjoy food, couldn't taste anything, couldn't smell anything. Laying on your back could be a bit uncomfortable, so it wasn't like I could lay in bed and watch TV or Netflix or anything like that. Naturally, you can't go outside during your contagious phase. So that was annoying. And then of the training I could do, the amount of recovery I needed between sets and how shit I felt was very discouraging for the experience. But if I'm honest, for me, from my experience overall, it did not feel very, very severe at all. It didn't feel like, it definitely merits a week or two off work. Like, it is a highly unpleasant experience. But I wouldn't have said whatever viral load I had or however infectious it was for me, or whatever I dealt with, was not a very severe dose of the virus. Now, in saying that, people I work with and friends of mine have had very bad reactions to COVID. Some of whom had to even spend one night in hospital. Others were off work for 4 to 5 weeks. So again, totally understandable. And this is not me trying to like downplay the severity of what COVID can be to some people. This is just what my experience has been with the virus. So right now, the only long-term or like ongoing effects I actually have are I can't smell anything and I can't fucking taste anything. But I'm hoping, though, the smell I don't really care about. I'm hoping the sense of taste comes back, because I do have an appetite again. So it can be quite annoying when you cook something really nice and you're really looking forward to it and you remember what it's meant to taste like, but you can't taste fucking anything. It's a very, very weird experience. Although textures and things like that are still enjoyable. It does also let me know what a fat prick I am, though, because even though I couldn't taste it, I ate like an entire massive bar of fucking chocolate that was like 1,500 calories just because I wanted it, even though I couldn't taste it. So I now know I'm just ingrained in my mind a big fat bastard. But yeah, so that has been the majority of my experience with COVID. I was hoping during the time I was sick to record some videos, but honestly, just with the fatigue, and then while I had the cough and things like that, it was not very. It wouldn't have been good content, and I didn't really want to like have that content there to look back on and remember when I was sick. So yeah, I didn't. But since returning to training, strength has not really been a problem. Like, I was in abs deadlift the other day, and I was pulling 220 for sets of 5 on the stiff bar with the Eleco plates. Before my last deadlift session in abs, before this, it was like 225, so 5 kilos up. Now, RP wise, it was easier prior. It's a little less easy now. That's again gonna, I'd say, primarily be related to my overall caloric intake being down while I was sick, and just not being as, practiced in the movement because I wasn't moving around as much. But overall, felt fine. So I'm not really concerned about strength. in the deadlift at least. We'll see now with the squat. I've done a little bit of squatting here in the house, but haven't done much. So I'm going to see tomorrow what way squats go. Hopefully they go all right. But like, I am absolutely fine to be very conservative now for a couple of weeks while I get familiarized with the patterns, with the training load, and with you know, my routine coming back, like working and things like that. So I'd say overall I've been off for about 2.5 weeks. Now this week I think I honestly could have gone back into work on Monday. I felt okay. Fatigue is still there. I still get little pains around the eyes sometimes, but like I'm way past my infectious stage, so there's no hassle for me going back in for other people. I'm capable. I'm not sure about how like my endurance is going to be for things like you know, the length of the days I work, or a lot of the tasks we have to do in the gym, on the gym floor. Some of the classes we have to teach, like spin classes, I may need like a little bit of time off those, but we're just going to have to wait and see. But overall, yeah, it has been an interesting experience, and not one I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend, if you can avoid getting COVID, I would avoid it. But it definitely, I think I got away without having a very severe case of COVID. But I will still use it as a means to say I'm built different, I have a very robust immune system, and I'm just fucking better than most people. But in any case, with the lifting, yeah, goal is just to get back to the same, like the same level of volume and overall load I was doing before, and then push beyond that. Before COVID, training was going great. I was really happy. I'm back on a building block. I have no intentions of competing at ABS 8. I will not be at that competition. I actually have like personal obligations outside of it, so I won't even physically be at the comp. I have no clients competing at the competition, and of the lads, the only two I know that are definitely competing are Evan and Vinny. So I won't be there for that one, which will be very surreal. It'll be the first ABS series I won't physically be at. Beyond that, if I do compete this year, I'm hoping to compete at the IPF in December, though there's no exact dates announced for it, so it'll depend on when those dates come out, especially when it comes to work and things like that. But to be honest, if I don't compete again this year, I'm very happy with the 7 competitions I have under my belt over the last, I suppose, if 3 years, nearly 2, well, it's 2 years, but you know what I mean, 2019, 2020, 2022, 2021. I'm very happy with the competition total I've put up. My best total being, oh Jesus, why are we going blurry? My best total being 750. So I'm very happy with that for the time being, while I build into something a bit bigger. Especially my goal will be to try and get into an IPF competition and maybe qualify for nationals if I can hit that standard, either as a 93 or a 105. Not sure yet. Still a little bit of I don't know where the fuck my body weight's at now after COVID, and I need to decide what I want to do with my body composition as I recover. Like, do I want to be a bit leaner and potentially not as strong, or am I happy to push the weights up but maybe not be the you know, the body composition I want? So overall, my personal opinion on that is I think you're better off staying at a body composition that you're comfortable with, but it's more of a matter of, like, for me, it's never the weight. Like people get carried away with weights on the scales. It doesn't matter what weight class you're in. You can be a 74 kilo lifter and look like dog shit, or you could be in the 120 class and look amazing. So for me, it's more the aesthetic. Like, I want to look and be healthy. I want to be a lower body fat, higher lean body mass. Like, I wouldn't just get fat for the sake of moving up a weight category to win a fucking medal or like to pull a PB. But in any case, that is neither here nor there. That is pretty much all the news I have for you at the moment. Now, I am hoping to record more videos. I threw up an Instagram like question box about what people's priorities are and what they think, like what they want from a coaching relationship. And I'll either do that as an IGTV or I'll stick it up here on YouTube, one or the other. But in any case, gang, I'm going to get out of here. If you haven't already, please jump across onto Instagram at IronIanPT, and you can give me a follow there. If you have any questions or any topics you want discussed on the YouTube channel, please send them in. I keep a folder on my phone with all the recommendations in it. There's about 17 video titles in there that I'm hoping to get to over the course of time. There's people still waiting from like July that sent me some pretty good titles, and they're like, you never made that video. I'm like, I know, yeah. So overall, hoping to get onto that. If you have any interest or questions or queries regarding coaching, again, you can get me on Instagram, or you can email me ironianpersonaltraining@gmail.com, or there's even just ironianpt@gmail.com. And then other than that, gang, they're the main socials. You're obviously watching here, so that would be the only other one. And then I do have a Twitter that I very, very occasionally post on. It's just @ironianpt if you want to follow over there. Not a big one, not a massive one, but I don't think a lot of people here, like in the fitness sphere, really use Twitter the same way, like, you know, people do in political commentary and things like that. And in other countries, I think it's a lot bigger. I remember Twitter was actually massive when I was doing pro wrestling. I used to have a pro wrestling Twitter, and it was very popular then. But look, it doesn't matter. In any case, gang, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good one. Thanks to everyone that checked in while I was sick, wondering where the fuck I was. And I will be back soon enough. Soon. With more videos. All right, have a good one, team. Look after yourselves, stay healthy, stay training, and yeah, chat to you next time.